All right, I think we're ready. So we are now transmitting audio. Do our fancy little intro, and we're now talking over because it's just crumbling.
Keep the language clean.
All right.
Fancy.
And hello, everybody.
Hi.
To From Shadows Podcast, Episode 5. This is all learning, work in progress. The reason we missed last week and the reason why we're an hour late today is pretty much growing pains of figuring out what the hell we're doing. So, definitely
There was a squirrel stuck in the computer.
Yeah,
squirrel.
A squirrel.
a squirrel.
I may or may not have put it there.
So, first thing I'll go ahead and put on here. Squirrel. First thing I want to go ahead and throw out there is that's the reason some of the technical problems that we've been having. We are switching to a different setup,
Yeah, it
format.
was nuts.
We are switching to a different format instead of broadcasting simultaneously to both Twitch and YouTube, where we had problems a lot of times with our upload and quality bit rates. We are now doing just the live show will be done on Twitch. It seems better suited for optional interaction, everything. You know, sometimes there will be some content heavy shows that we may not be watching chat hardly at all. There'll be some that are be much lighter content where we might have more interaction option. So keep in mind, if you're in chat, we're not ignoring you, but we kind of are. Just it depends really what's going on.
We're ignoring you on purpose because we want to focus on the podcast.
Right. And usually if we're gonna, it will say if we're gonna open up anything like, you know, hey, ask in the chat or ask in various forums and everything. And secondly, it allows for fun little things. We are using stream elements for our overlays, and we just had a follow. And Soaring, this one's for you because you missed it and everything, and that way it can kind of show. There you go. You get to be our first alert on air. Congratulations.
Thank you, Soren. Thank you, Soren.
Look at that. Isn't that fancy? Super fancy.
So,
Like that.
hopefully, like I said, what should happen now, we're going to have the live show. It's typically Sunday afternoons, 2 p.m. Central Time. Do whatever kind of time conversion you got to do for your own time zone. And we're working on trying to get the Obten channel affiliate, but it's going to take a little work.
Ignore the noise in the background. Ignore the noise.
It's going to take a little bit more work to get to that because, you know, doing a podcast every other week, we definitely don't hit the requirement. So we're going to hopefully start bringing some other content to this channel. The other thing is, after that, you should see an upload that'll probably come live on our YouTube channel on Monday. That will obviously not be a live show. So, besides that, other news, starting off with kind of community stuff going on. We have officially launched soft launch our Obten store. Where it started off with the idea of being able to, our content creator program, them helping them be able to get merchandise and such as shirts and everything like that. But we'll also be selling, we do have some out there and it's ever growing. This is all still in development. Game codes, typically at just regular pricing, it's competitive than what you pay on Steam. And I'm hoping to be able to there'll be promotions and everything for our community and just some general stuff like, you know, you guys watching might have something set up for you guys by next show.
There might be discount codes published during the podcast. Who knows?
You'll have to stay tuned to find out.
Exactly.
Wink,
So
Double wink. Oh no, are you just
wink. It's a double wink for you.
I think you're just about ready to have a stroke. So
If I fall on the floor,
for me.
please call help.
well,
Help
help.
in advance.
Oh,
So there's that's going on, and then our next thing, we did have our first community contest kind of wrap up.
Yeah. That was
The,
fun.
Yeah.
the clip contest, and we are going to actually, we are actually going to show those here and everything. You're not on it yet, so yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. I forgot to do the transition, but whatever. So we're actually going to show these on air. The first one is Mibu playing. What game is this, Mibu? Evil Within
That's
2?
the Evil Within 2, yes.
And it was submitted by actually our own Sakachi, who was not one of the judges. Was not one of the judges for this.
Nope.
So
hang on, he's not there anymore. He's now
Oh yeah.
This
he's
way.
now there.
We're like the freaking Brady Bunch here.
And you're next to the creepy static lady. And that's the other thing. With all this switching around, I lost my little TV, please stand by thing. So now you just get to stare at creepy static lady until we get a fourth. So we're going to go ahead and
it
play.
fits the theme.
I like creepy static lady. She hasn't stabbed me yet. Which is more than I can say for me, boo.
So we're going to play this. 3, 2, 1.
Appreciate. Oh shit! There's a picture. Is it me? Oh, hello. Hi. I need to switch these notifications off. But thank you for the bits. Oh fuck, that's bad.
What the hell?
Yeah, that picture was just oh fuck. Live! Oh, shit. Oh, what the...
Got
Oh,
it.
Nice little jump scare.
So there's... in all honesty, I don't think I caught that the first time I watched that. I thought it was literally just you grunting at the chair.
No. And to be honest, during that stream, there were a few other cheers that threw me off a little bit worse than that. But that jump scare, that was a good one. That was a good one.
The thing that made this funny, like for me at least, is Mibu got affiliate. It was right in the middle of this contest, wasn't it, or at the beginning?
Literally just before.
So pretty much, I knew we were planning this big theme for a lot of us that were doing this live streaming of doing Halloween themed stuff, spooky games, changing our little alerts and everything to do spooky sounding shit and everything. And I went on Mibu's stream and just literally was dropping one bit at trying to time the moments to high tense situations while he's playing the Evil Within 2. And he just kept kept that up.
That was for those 3 hours I was playing this game. I was like, please, no one donate, no cheer or follow now, because I think I got one follow during that stream, and I can't remember what sound effect I had used, but I was shitting myself. I had like a witch's scream. I had that growl. I had I can't remember, but
nonetheless, Mibu still wakes up in a cold sweat at night.
Yes, and I wished I would have changed those notification sounds after the but I didn't. So
you stuck with it.
Yes.
All right. So this next one, I'm playing a game called Yuki Nimi or Yuka Nimi or something. It's one of those like, what is it? It should.
Yume Nikki.
Thank you. I was actually going back to look at the name of it. It's one of these like creepy ass like internet cult type games that like people debate, like have been debating forever. Like it's one of these. I got interested in it because it got suggested to me, and like I'm like, oh my god, just the theory crafting that was going around in this game. And Sonono 3, you can see him up there as my recent follow. Well, no, you can't.
Nope.
Oh well. Anyways, so you can't see that he's the recent follower. He's kind of gets on there, and I don't know what I'm doing, and he's guiding me around, and he caught this clip of me. So, 3, 2, 1. Ah! And the thing that I wish he'd caught more of it. The thing that made that funny is he had me doing this for like 20 minutes trying to trigger this event.
See, that's what happens when you don't listen to Professor Oak and you ride your bike indoors.
Right? So, and the thing is, like, that game actually induced that a couple times on me. It was ridiculous for something that's like RPG Maker fare to actually make me feel uneasy and doing jump scares. And then the last one we have, titled Free Brian, submitted by Noise. Again, Mibu playing, is this Riptide?
That's Riptide, Dead Island Riptide, yes.
Alright, 1 second. Alright. Going in 3, 2, 1.
You're stuck, mate.
You're gonna free him, free Brian.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Very skillful.
Ah! You asshole.
Now the thing I like is I didn't realize that whenever I watched this the first time, just a second. That's Noise right there, isn't it?
Yes. In the car.
In the car, stuck in what looks like a babeo tree.
He
or
was
whatever.
stuck for the past 5 minutes. He was trying to maneuver this car out, not into my direction, into the opposite direction. All right, so he's stuck between, I think it was palms and crates. So he's going forward, backward, maneuvering left, right, this, that, and the other. And I thought at that moment I finally figured out how to free Brian, and then there he comes, right, running me over. After I don't know how long.
But did Brian get out?
Brian did get out,
Okay.
but I got killed in the process. So
Yeah, well, you know, can't make an omelet without blowing up a few eggs.
you live and you die. Yeah, you win some, you lose some. What can I say?
So, after careful deliberation on him, though, Mibu, you want to say it?
Drum roll, please.
Right. The winner is. I've got no drums, but there we go. Free Brian by Noise.
Woo!
Yeah.
So Noise.
We don't have streamers. Does anyone have confetti?
Nope.
I
I
wonder.
could pour a glass of water.
Just a
over
second. Did I do it?
Maybe fire your gun into the air.
Oh, I'm sad.
Have you got a cup of gin?
No, I don't. That'd be like the best fucking time to have Capagen going.
Oh shit.
Well, we'll be going offline for about 30 minutes or so we can get this under wraps. So please just stay where you are.
Quick. Go
No.
and stream element.
Confetti.
Quick.
What do you think I'm doing?
Fantastic.
We're going to celebrate this.
There you go. There you go. We are prepared. There we go. There you go.
Yay!
Where Noise? $25 coming your way.
Woo!
Knuckles as well.
Beautiful.
So,
Truly resplendent.
anyways,
It was a fun contest. I think.
We like to have fun
It's-
around here.
Yeah. And we don't mind that we're taking the mick out of each other or ourselves. If you can't take it, then you're looking at the wrong people, or you're in the wrong place.
So, overall, like, as far as this kind of contest, do you think it's a good idea? Do you think we'll have more in the future like this?
I'd love to have more.
Yes, definitely.
I liked it. Definitely like it. If we only had 3 submissions, that's the only problem we had. I think if we had more participation, it'd be one of those things. It'd be great fun, and it would get people active on other people's channels. So it's kind of.
I mean, okay. Let's put it this way: Sikachi and Noise, they are old, seasoned members of our community, anyways. Okay.
Grizzled, if you will.
The good thing that I really appreciate, and unfortunately didn't make the win, is that we had a new member in the community participating as well, with the clip of Yumi, whatever the name is.
Unity.
That's the one. I'm not going to repeat it now. So there's a new community member, who took right part in that contest. Fantastic. And
So
this
now
is
you know that we have a favorite.
want. No. But this is something that I personally, and I bet you two are sitting in the same boat with me. That's something I'd like to see more often in our community. And me holding my hand like this on camera looks like I'm holding my beard. No, I'm not holding my beard in place. No, I'm not. Damn it.
Control Z.
Right. So
Yeah.
I said my bit. There we go.
So
I mean, as a community, we're only growing, so we'll only get more participation.
Exactly.
That's how I feel about it.
all right. So kind of moving on to actual beef of our contents, our topics for today. First thing we're going to go on is, and this was brought up by Soaring Wyvern in our Discord. He was curious about our thoughts with VR and how it's impacting the industry. And whenever kind of looking this up, researching and everything like that, I came across a few things. Talking about like it's. Let's go ahead and start with this, Pat. Like it was supposed to be like this big, just boom, and oh my god, it's going to revolutionize
future of
things.
gaming.
On that thought alone, do you think it's gotten anywhere close to that?
No.
No.
Nope.
I mean, around a year ago, a little bit longer, I used to have a VR set, only borrowed it for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something
Yeah,
like that.
you did some videos on it.
Yes. And whilst the initial experience was amazing, I don't think it's there yet.
Nope. Still causes too many issues with people's just eyesight and all of that, because it's one of those things where you can't play for hours on end like a normal video game without getting headaches and that sort of thing for most people. And not to mention, you also have a huge buy-in just for the peripheral, and not a whole lot you can do about it. It's just one of those things where over time prices will go down, so it will become more viable, I believe, but just not there right now. It's still more of a proof of concept almost, because it's very niche.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, like the buy-in is probably the big block for most people. And for VR to enjoy it good, you already had to have a beefy machine. If you didn't have a beast of a machine already, or go out and everything, you have an even bigger mind, because you have to go out and buy a machine for it, and then buying the gear and everything. And that's what's kind of held up. And I think it's one of those things like maybe they released a year too early or a couple years too early, because right now already what we're seeing is HTC is potentially considering selling off its VR set of everything. So Vives, They dropped in price, but I would not go buy a Vive right now. And that used to be what you'd go buy if you wanted to. Between the Vive and the Oculus, those are your two big contenders. You'd go buy a Vive because it was cheaper, and it also had the touch controllers included, and you had the 2 sensors for full room VR. Well, now the Oculus has included, bundled with the touch controllers and everything like that, and they also had, I think it was they're dropped down to $399 now, I think. So we're already potentially losing one of our bigger players if HTC just decides to close down their VR development side. If they can't sell the company. And CCP Games, they are most notably known for EVE Online. I played that game for about 5 years. It's amazing single shard MMO and everything. They were one of the biggest developers for virtual reality content. They spent a lot of money in it. They spent a lot of development and research into it. Their biggest thing was Eve Valkyrie. It's a space flight sim shooter and everything. You're playing as like the fighter pilots for their big EVE Online game and everything. Amazing game. And then out of nowhere, earlier the middle of summer, early to midsummer, I think it was, they dropped the VR requirement for Eve Valkyrie. Like, oh great, we're gonna let more people in. Well, that was apparently a move because CCP has sold their Atlanta, Georgia office, closed it down, sold off all the assets. I think about 20 to 50 employees lost their jobs over it, and they're no longer doing research into VR. They've stopped development. They will continue supporting what they've already got, but as you can see, like I said in the Valkyrie thing, that was their big one. It's no longer requiring VR.
Yeah.
And because of my setup, I can't put. I had a third link that I linked for you guys. When you guys mention it or post it for me in the chat, it's in our content team channel.
Okay.
Because if I go there, I'll kill the cameras and everything looks.
Is it the most recent one?
It should be the third one in line. Sorry for the dead air. I lost track of what I was doing.
Is it Forbes?
The Forbes article.
Yeah. Shit. Fuck you, Forbes.
Not sponsored anyway, so.
Okay, actually, that article kind of just covers a lot of what I'm talking about, the price cuts.
I mean, the price cuts, they came so sudden, okay? And those price cuts were made on both sides, Vive and Oculus.
Yeah.
So it just shows something is happening, or something is not going as well.
But yeah, so like that pretty much like they're talking about the price cuts. Like we do have a couple of VR inspired movies coming out. Ready Player One is probably the big one. I think it comes. I can't remember if it's supposed to be out by Christmas or early part of 2018. But it revolves around this idea about everyone has access to virtual reality shit and everything, and there's this big bank on trying to get this mainstream, so they're trying to make this price cut in time for while this is all in the public eye. But for them both to have done it, yeah, they talk about it's kind of iffy, like, especially with HTC doing a price cut on top of trying to sell off their branding for it and everything. Oculus doing it and everything, even though you'd think they'd be the ones sitting pretty with the whole thing. So, I mean, it's all just a little iffy.
Yeah.
Discuss. I've talked.
I mean, despite the companies doing their own strategic things. Now, what Sikachi mentioned with headaches or feeling motion sick. Now, the very first time I put it on, I had no problems. Yeah, I was playing. I can't remember what games I was playing, but it was a variety on the first day. Second day, no problems. Third day, no problems. Further down the line, there was all of a sudden that day, I put it on and I couldn't last 5 minutes in that thing. I felt so sick and I thought I need to run to the bath. Simple as. And
Uh,
but I don't know. So something in the technology is still not 100% that you can enjoy the game without taking the risk of actually being sick. And like I said, it's not that I am a person who can't handle virtual reality. If you go onto my YouTube channel 2 years ago, 1 year ago, you will see me playing virtual reality games, and I was playing these for several hours non-stop. So that's not the issue. It's just, I don't know, maybe you haven't eaten, you have eaten. I couldn't draw a connection there.
Yeah. So that's something that they definitely have to put research in if they want it to be something that people are constantly interested in, even after they buy the system. Because that's one thing, the actual games for VR, they put quite a few out, but that's another thing for a lot of people. It's like once you get the VR, you'll have a few games to play, and then it's a lot slower, the game output and the VR capability things, VR capable games. So,
and like you said, the games. Sorry, yeah, carry on.
No, go ahead.
The games, they felt not finished. They were more showcases.
Yeah.
Of what can be done.
So much of it felt like tech demos.
Yes, definitely.
And
I mean, the game that I enjoyed most was VR zombie game. I can't remember the exact title of it. I played that probably the most, and all it was a map. Maybe it was small, okay, and it was one map only. But that was fun. After you played that for maybe 3-4 hours, you had enough. Another game that I tried to play was Project Cars, which is normal video game platform, but they then added VR support, and that actually felt quite cool. However, it was glitchy because every now and then you weren't then not sitting in the car in the driver's seat. Every now and then it kind of happened that during the race you kind of whoop, you're somewhere else, and then it becomes really hard to control a car. Which then brings me to another point: controls in general. If it wasn't a game that was initially designed to be played with either controller or mouse and keyboard, and you are used to these controls, the controllers that you are given with the VR headset, and that was, I can only talk for the HTC Vive, I have never tried the Oculus. It takes a lot of getting used to, and it is by no means intuitive.
And talking about controls, that's kind of one thing it's leading up into what, like, the big thing I personally have is VR right now in its current state works best for a sit-down experience. Would you guys agree or disagree?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, they do have some things where you're standing up, but it's not ever a requirement from what I've seen.
There is, and I was working with someone together. That's the whole reason why I actually got the VR headset, my hands on it. I was working with someone together who wanted to open a VR video game cafe, and obviously there's
hygiene
space. yeah, there's that. But the biggest issue is space. So we looked into it, and there are people, I forgot the name of it. There are people that actually developed a platform. It looks almost like a treadmill, but it's all static. And
It's got the,
you
is it the
are
one with the
given-
grooved floors?
Yeah, it's like a gridded.
Yeah.
It looks like a webbed floor almost.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about.
And the player is given certain shoes where the friction is different then. And you're in a harness, and this harness acts as controller. So wherever the player is facing, so the controller acts either like a left stick or right stick on the controller, or as your mouse. So you're turning left, right, round. You have a gun, for example, like we know from the good old days, Super Nintendo or Nintendo, where you were shooting, where you at your television.
Yeah, Duck Hunt.
I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, that platform looked quite promising, but it's still not released.
It failed
again,
funding twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know for Last Track, I had it. They're planning on redoing it now that headsets have kind of caught up, but they haven't announced a plan to redo the Kickstarter yet. I know they just talked about it.
There's just too many issues around VR at the moment.
Well, like the
As
thing,
cool of an idea as it is, we're just not right there, it seems.
Yeah.
like kind of thing that I was going to be getting at with it is, sit down experiences are right now I think the bread and butter for VR, because the whole room VR, most people don't have the space for it, the extra sensors for it, and I mean, who typically wants to, like, if it wants to be up and like the example for like that thing that Meeby was talking about is they demoed it. The tech demo for it was pretty much a modded version of Oblivion or Skyrim, like, depending on what era the demo's coming. Can you imagine running across Cyrodiil?
Dude, that would be awesome.
I mean,
gamers in shape.
I did play that tech demo. Let me just have a look. Carry on talking. I'll find the game.
So I mean, the walking aspect is awkward right now, because one thing that is also limiting VR is our brains, and this is a lot of times what has people getting sick. Our brains are expecting feedback for our actions. These are people that have experienced motion sickness playing first-person shooters. If they're looking at a screen and their stuff is moving around, but their body isn't, their body is hypersensitive to that, that they start getting, their brain is saying, hey, we should be moving, the body's saying, but we're not, and the brain's like, what do you mean we're not? I'm seeing movement, you are walking, and body's like, nope. So, and you get this dissonance and everything, and it can be, if pretty much like on the monitors inside, you got two little monitors inside these headsets, if those aren't in a really high refresh rate, like I think minimum, I think what they speculated was needs to be like 200 something hertz, so we're to be able to replicate that fluid that we're used to seeing in our own vision. Just getting a little bit out of sync, even a couple flickers, can immediately switch you to that dissonance and everything. And like, to show just how important that is, I wish I had it ready to pull up since we had the setup and everything. There's this test that they were doing on the way our brains work with virtual reality and everything, and as an example, they have a guy that's laying on this table with a VR headset looking down and tell him to look down his body, and they have a doll dressed up just like him on a table in another room.
Yep.
And what
I
they
know what you're
do,
talking about.
what they do is they sit there, and on the guy, they're just sitting there putting like a hard metal edge against his leg, but on the doll, they actually have a knife, putting a knife at about the same spots on the leg. And the guy is like sitting there, like he's like kind of freaking out. And then they sit there and stab the doll. The guy literally reacts, oh my god, he jumps up, he feels the pain of it. So I mean, you can tell just how important that dissonance, that disconnect can be whenever you're talking about this movement stuff.
Yeah.
And like you said, like if the controls aren't designed for VR right off the bat, it's never going to work. It always feels clunky. And these games that try to get around the movement aspect by not doing full room, and obviously you're limited to how much you can move, like trying to do first person shooters where like you blink or teleport everywhere, even that can start making you sick over time. And the last thing that Sakachi, I think you were talking about the weight of these headsets. I've got a new headset. Just it's one of those virtual surround. It's the Logitech Artemis, whatever. Going from this little thing to these, my neck muscles ache after 30 40 minutes wearing them. So I mean,
You gotta do those neck exercises, Pyro.
so I mean, it's one of those things like I can't imagine going and putting on a VR headset that is going to also not only be heavier on my head, but push my head center of gravity, I guess, forward, to where I'm just constantly wanting to do this when you're not used to doing that on a regular basis.
It is very disorienting.
So I mean,
just get a neck brace. That's what you gotta do.
There you go.
You are in your living room or wherever but you can't see it. You don't know where the walls, the tables are. Obviously, you have some grid going on. So you are already in an unfamiliar environment in your own home. So that is one thing that throws you off. The weight, the additional weight, whilst you're moving around in this unfamiliar environment, it's not comfortable. Okay, you need at least 1 hour getting used to it. And it's not only the weight, there's a lot of heat created because the padding. Now,
I've never thought about heat on that.
If you've been wearing big headphones for hours and hours, you start the warmth building up. You start to feel the warmth building up. Okay, now the heat in front of your face, it's basically a massive ear cup. Okay, just it's sitting on your nose, around your eyes, and sometimes it slips down, and then it's not nice. But I had one incident where I was playing for probably again 2-3 hours, and again I know I'm in my living room. I know I'm playing a video game, but I switched it off, took this headset off, and my brain couldn't cope with a sudden change of environment. I was like, fuck, I'm in my living room. Again, I personally know that I was at my home, in my living room, but my brain wasn't aware of that fact. My brain was in that game, whatever I was playing at the time. So I take this headset off, and mind literally blown. Shit. There's a sofa, there's walls, there's no dragons or zombies. Wow. So, feeble-minded people, it might literally fudge with their heads. And this is where VR can be a super tool. Yeah, we're talking a lot negative here. Yeah, in VR, you can potentially teach surgery, safe heart surgery, whatever. There's so much potential there. We're talking a lot about the negatives, but
we criticize because we're interested in it.
Of course,
exactly,
and it's expensive. But it's dangerous ground. I feel almost at the minute it is dangerous ground because, like I said, if you put that on the wrong person, or if a child gets hold of that, and I don't even want to know what kind of impact it can have on a child's brain or eyesight or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything for you?
What you were talking about actually brings us to our next topic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The
escapism in gaming.
Sorry.
Escapism in gaming.
Escape from reality.
Yeah.
Yes. Now this is something more of a soft topic, and maybe whoever is watching might share their stories as well or insight. There's something I thought about talking because my wife, she tells me, oh, whenever you're playing your video games, you're escaping from reality. Yes, I have a stressful job. Yes, private life can be stressful as well, but I know by no means do I personally feel that I'm escaping from reality. My reasoning, not my excuse, my reasoning is almost okay. People read books, people watch television, there are stories going on. I play video games where I'm not flipping you the bird, sorry. um, there's stories
Bad
going on
Nebu,
as
bad.
well. Yeah, Pyro, I saw that. um, but in video games, I can have an effect on the story. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that. Now, personally, I'm not a big television guy, but I feel I enjoy playing video games more, and I am more active brain-wise than comparing myself sitting in front of the telly and just zoning out. I mean, first of all, do you feel that video games are an escape from reality?
Well, I personally think they are an escape from reality, but then again, that's a lot of our lives nowadays.
I would say I would actually agree. Like, yes, they are an escape, but not in the negative connotation that
Yeah.
is being used. Like, I think reading a book, like you're saying, all these other attributes, reading a book, watching TV, you go out running with your headphones on, listening to music, or just listening to music laying in bed or whatever. Those are all temporary escapes that we use because, let's face it, the world sucks right now.
I mean, humans are naturally a storytelling species. I mean, it's how we communicate. It's just how we function. So whenever you're reading a book, whenever you're playing a video game, heck, even whenever you are listening to music, you're getting stories told to you. And even though it is technically an escape, that's how our species work.
Okay.
I mean, you get it from the dawn of time where people would sit around a campfire and tell stories to each other and pass down oral traditions.
Look at religion.
That's how it worked before writing came into play. Stories were
So,
told. This is how you pass
the way
on.
I see it, it's just another aspect of telling stories, of expressing yourself, and doing the normal human thing of escaping just normality, if you will.
So it looked like Pyro wanted to say something.
Sorry.
No, just we were talking about, like, you know, dawn of time, yada, and like story passing out. All I said was look at religion. Religion is the grandest storytelling. I mean, I'm religious, I'm more spiritual than religious. I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, but there's a lot of other stuff that goes into that I'm not going to go to on the podcast. But I mean,
while we're at it, let's talk about politics.
Right? Trump's an idiot. He's going to get us blown up. There you go. But I mean, why is it a problem? I mean, let's say, like, you know, okay, let's agree completely with your wife. You know, you're playing those video games because you want to escape from reality. Thanks. Why is that a problem? I mean, you're not going out to a bar, spending money getting drunk. You're not shooting up heroin. You're not hiring hookers. You're not spending money on other...
Allegedly.
You're not doing all these other things.
All these in video games.
I mean, you're not doing anything that is inherently destructive. You're not to the point to where, like, you know, I think video game addiction is a thing to where people just, they don't know, not necessarily video game addiction, but definitely their priorities can get screwed up, and therefore you have them like, oh, I'm going to sit here and play a video game and just call into work. You know, Call of Duty just launched, her to her. You know, so yeah, there is bad parts to it, but I mean, you seem like, to me personally, like, you seem like a very responsible gentleman and everything, and, you know, what if you come home, you take care of your family responsibilities, you spend time with them and everything, and you want to go and play a video game for a little bit? I mean, you know, like, I'd be looking at him like, okay, you want to go watch this movie? Isn't that just escaping from reality for 2 hours? at least with me, whenever
It's
I'm playing
pretty
whenever
much
I'm playing
the
a
same
video
thing.
game, when I'm playing a video game, I'm engaged with
You're more
the story.
immersed in it.
I can go watch a movie that I'm like in the same mind frame, like let's say late at night, I've just worked all day and I'm tired. I can go watch a movie and pass out on it, and
Yep.
I've wasted that time. Or I can go play a video game, which for a little bit I will at least be engaged with, and my brain will be thinking and all sorts of stuff and everything like that. And it's the
Yeah,
interactivity.
we all know. I think the three of us know, especially that I can pass out on video games as well.
True.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I
If,
think
if you're
that was
tired
more
enough,
because of a lack of sleep.
yeah.
Yes.
If you're tired enough and everything, I mean, and like me and maybe more so than me, I would say, make a great effort to, like, we usually get together every Friday and do some sort of co-stream and everything. Right now we've been playing Divinity Original Sins, and really
Awesome
like
game. If you haven't tried it, try it.
yeah, and really you get to a point there's a lot of reading and everything, and beginning of our stream, we usually start around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon for me. That's eight or 9 for you.
9
9 o'clock for you.
in the evening.
So at the beginning of it, it's always like, yeah, we're reading this, we're doing this, and everything. But by the end of it, it's like, can we just get to the next combat? At least we're doing something.
Yes.
And it's like, gets to the point like, can we just kill some? Like, I will go and steal from someone just to get a fight started because.
Yeah, I remember just last Friday, I got home at like, I think it was 6 p.m., maybe later, and I saw you guys were still in voice chat, and I'm like, are they still playing Divinity? What's going on? Mibu, what time is it?
Usually that stream lasts for around 5 hours.
Yeah,
So,
we usually end around the time. For me, I've seen us end at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, to where that's the time he started at for his local time.
Yes. And I'm 6 hours ahead, so
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's what I call dedication.
right?
Or immersion.
Or escapism.
Yep.
So I mean, it's like sure, I guess ultimately like your wife,
She has a point.
there is a point to it, but anything.
I admit, you guys actually convinced me. Yeah, you turned it around for me. It is actually, yes, it is a way of escapism, but a healthy way. Like you just said, Pyro, you're more engaged. You're more engaged. If I watch a movie for 2 hours, there is every now and then there's a situation the next day. I can't really tell you what happened when in
Yeah.
where compared to video games, I could probably tell you what happened unless I've fallen asleep during the stream. But I will be able to tell you what happened where, because your brain is more engaged in it. You are making the choices of that story. The story is not necessarily laid out in front of you, not like in a TV show, movie, or in a book.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, because we've, like, ever since we entered the age of technology and we've gotten our smartphones, we seem to always need to be doing something. So, like, whenever I'm watching a TV show, I hate it because, like, even if I'm really interested in a TV show, I pick up my phone. I'm like, let me just hop on here, and my hands just need to be busy. I need to be doing something because the TV show isn't enough to catch my full attention, I guess. Whereas in a video game, you're engaging yourself visually. You're doing stuff with your hands. You have your hand on a keyboard, mouse, controller, whatever. So
I
you're
kind of
more
wonder.
engaged, it seems.
Okay, he kind of brought something up on that one. I kind of wonder, is it more about us as people needing to be engaged, or is it more about us needing to do something with our hands?
It seems like it's more engaging.
That could open up a whole different discussion now.
Yeah.
And I said it in a way to intentionally do that, but
Okay. All things in moderation.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I mean,
Including moderation.
yes, moderate in moderation. So we will only time out soaring and chat for about 5 minutes. So, anything else on that, really?
No, I just thought, well, not from my side, sorry.
I was going to say, I mean, we could go more into that. Is it just a needing to be engaged or needing to keep your hands busy? You want to go into that?
We're not streaming to Chatterbait, sadly.
Oh, well. Well, that's why the camera's up here, Pyro. I can keep my hands busy all I want.
Well,
So-
I've got my hand always on my beard recently. It's just a comfort thing.
That's why I have to shave mine off every now and then. Otherwise, I'm just constantly,
Yeah, I find whenever I had this growing out, I'm always like sitting like pulling on it, like.
Yeah. And it seems like a pretty bad habit.
Well,
Almost like a
okay.
nervous tick.
Now that we're talking about beards, you're not supposed to be pulling anyways, like doing this. You're not supposed to be doing this because that way you are weakening your hair follicles. Hang on, can I do this? I don't know if I can.
Almost.
Oh God. This is turning into a podcast.
Yeah, I was
So-
thinking earlier, I'm kind of the odd one out. I mean, you guys both have your beards grown in more, and you both have glasses. I think next stream, I might conform, and this can be the beards and glasses stream.
Oh God, Pyro.
Well, that's sunglasses. I don't have any
Oh.
glasses on my table right now.
Damn you, green screen!
Oh yeah, you can't see it. Oh,
Hold on. We're gonna fix this.
just switch up your phone for a moment.
There you go. I'll let you wear these next podcast, Scotchy.
Oh no, I got my own. Think so.
Now you just need to
So,
quickly grow your beard.
Yeah.
or you
I'll
can,
just not
or you
shave.
can, I'm gonna say, or you can shave it off of other parts of your body and like just like glue it with that makeup
Just,
putty. There you go.
no.
You have the silky smooth little goat going. So,
Wow.
really, that went by pretty quick. It felt like, but we're at our pretty much our hour mark. One thing I would love to hear feedback on, personally, and you guys can add in anything with the new format. You do earn loyalty points. We are going to do some stuff with our loyalty store. Like right now, I think you can do ask a question or suggest a topic is all I've got on there. Yeah, ask a question or request a topic, which costs you points. Stuff that you'd like to see on there. We might add some other things here and there. I don't know. It's going to be kind of experimentation. But overall, just thoughts and everything going to a format like this. Mibu, anything?
No, we'll be working in the background on the store, and I'm planning on giving Pyro a little bit of help.
Yeah, like,
So keep your eyes open on the store.
and that's
ever
the
growing.
the Obten store, the actual.
Yes. Yes.
Which-
If you want to type into your little web browser, Obten.net, that's our general website where you see lots of shit going on. Sorry, I don't mean shit. Good stuff. Oh, there it is. And yeah, it's got a link for the shop as well. So all still in its baby shoes. You got Pyro on there. You've got Sikachi. You've got Bang, one of our other community members.
In the creator program.
Myself, yes, in the creator program, and obviously myself. So that's our own merchandise, but there's more and more coming to it, like Pyro mentioned, video games, software.
I am working out,
It's a small amount. It's a small amount for now.
and I am working out possibly a deal with one of our community members who's actually watching Soaring, who's getting into sprite creation and everything, 8-bit style pixel art and everything like that. And I'm trying to convince him that actually after this podcast, I'm going to be talking to him about this. selling merchandise onto our shop, not merchandise, his creations on our shop and everything as well. So we might be a destination where you can go and get, sprite sheets for your for different games, animations, stream. If you ever watched my stream avatars and everything like that.
That is, if Soaring doesn't destroy his computer because of frustration at the different art programs.
So, anything from you, Sakachi?
I mean, I think you guys covered it really well. I mean, our store's getting bigger and better every single day, so make sure you check it out often. And check out our different content creators. We always have something going on. And keep a lookout for other contests that might be happening. Wink, wink.
And if you're not on our Discord server already, you should come and pay a visit.
Just do it.
Yeah. Our next community thing we're trying to organize. We haven't decided on a date to try and actually organize it and take signups for it yet. We are looking at doing a free entry Brawlhalla tournament where there will be an actual prize for that as well. It'll either be Brawlhalla. It's a free-to-play game akin to Smash Brothers. Tons of fun. We're hoping to do, like I said, a community tournament. It'll either be solos or duos. And
yet to be decided. Yep.
Yeah, we're pooling interest right now, and that's kind of it's right now. It's one of those things like about like the clip contest. There's interest there, but as far as getting people to commit,
yeah.
And I mean, that's just it's growing pains of a small yet growing community. So we'll get there.
Yeah,
of course.
So,
and I think that wraps up what all's going on with the Obten Network as of late.
And maybe we just pull the old man card.
Yeah.
So,
I'm bald, got a beard, going grey. Well, I'm allowed to pull the old man card.
As long as you're not saying rad or tubular and all that kind of shit.
Hey now.
Nope.
Hey now. Don't be going against my vernacular here. Quite enjoy the tubular and radical.
You've just been watching too much Stranger Things. That's why you're using that word.
Either that or too much Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So anyways, thank you everyone for watching. We should see you in 2 weeks. Definitely head over to the loyalty shop, ask us a question, request a topic. You can come to our Discord. We do have a channel for the From Shadows podcast, along with a bunch of great community members you can talk to and get to know. And we'd love to see you on the next one. And definitely, I think it should be in an info panel. You should see our channels. Come give us a follow, a like. Yeah, follow. Come watch our stuff. If you haven't yet, please make sure you follow this. And just for shits and giggles, I'm going to shoot this off one more time for Soaring, because I think he's sat through this whole thing for us with rambling. Merry Christmas. Yay! You can't even see the... I forgot about the Capigen was still on. You can't even see the notification pop up. So, thank you.
Set it on random.
What? And Knuckles.
Yeah, I don't know why they do N Knuckles. That's like... I just added.
I've never seen that before. That's awesome.
It's the odd one out.
It's just I just added that in like 5 seconds. So give me a break.
No, that's awesome.
But you guys all take care, and thanks for watching.
Yeah. Bye.
See you next time.